Hey there, YouTube land. Today I'm going to show you a few of my favorite reels to use. Now, before I begin, I just want to say this is not a complete list necessarily. I have other reels that I like, but if I say you're talking about that, we may be here all night. So let's get started. So the first one, and you've seen this in my other videos, this is my Mitchell 300. And this is my 1976 model. It's kind of an old friend of mine. And this is one of the first ever old reels I ever brought back to life. It's been with me almost 2.5 and almost 3 years now. I've caught a lot of fish on it. I've caught some nice fish on it. I caught my biggest largemouth on it. Nice smallmouth, among other things. And, still going strong, Obviously I've serviced it and everything, but yeah, she's a little noisy, but that's okay. It doesn't bother the fish much. Sorry, I had to get a little more comfortable. See? Yeah, this is my 1976 model Mitchell 300. It's one of my reels. She's been through a lot with me, and I'm going to keep using her. And I'm sure she'll outlast me. Okay. So the next reel I have is also a 300, but a different variant. This is the Mitchell 300C. Now, what makes this different from a standard 300 is that it has roller bearings inside it. It has two sets. One in the main shaft of the main gear, and one set in the neck of the rotor, or inside the rotor. So it's a little smoother retrieve, but it's not as common. So unless you really want a 300C, which I did, I wouldn't necessarily, I wouldn't buy it unless it was for a price I could afford. This one I was able to get for under $30, so pretty happy with it, because the 300C is not as common, because they only made about, I think, 271,000, a little over that, of these models, compared to about, I think, over 1.5 million Mitchell 300s. But, I really love this reel. I have it put on a, I usually pair it up with my 1969 model Shakespeare Wonder Rod that I've shown in another video. And it's just a really nice, smooth operating reel, very well built, and I definitely am glad I picked it up. Good smooth bail trip, and I just love it. I haven't really had this as long, but I did take it out a few times this past summer when I could, and this fall, and it did a good job, and I'm hoping to take it out more this summer, and hopefully catch some good fish on it. Okay, so now we're going on to the Zebcos. This is my Zebco 606. Originally, the body that was on my 606 was a lot more beat up than this, but it was fine for a while, and then I had to replace the gears in it, and eventually the spool was getting to be where it was kind of hard to get it on and off the body, even with the drag all the way loosened. So I have put a new body on this, but all the parts are, transferred from the other one. So, but anyway, Zebco 606. These were made between 1965 and 1969. And I used to put it on my Garcia Connellan, my orange rod, which is also kind of an old friend. I've shown that in another video. But since then, I have put it on an old True Temper rod, 5'9", almost 6 foot rod. I may show that in another video, but we're not going to do that tonight. Anyway, it's just, like I say, it's a nice reel, nice and smooth, very strong reel. I mean, I took the 606 out and caught a smallmouth on it back in the fall. Not a huge one, like a 13-incher, but big enough in the state of New York to take home to eat. So, there's that. But that's the 606. Next we have, and you've probably seen this on another of my videos, my 1970s model Zebco 404. This time with the correct handle. It's a beige and green model, and this variant was made between 1971 and 1976. I don't, this one like I've said, I brought it back from the dead. It's a very smooth operation. Yeah, it's a little noisy, but a lot of these old reels are just noisy because of age, but it doesn't hurt anything. The drag, really nice and smooth. I had this paired up on a Shakespeare Wonder Glass rod, which, again, I've shown you in another video. But ever since I put my 606 on the True Temper rod, this has taken its place on my orange Connellan. I like putting the 404 on a 6.5 foot rod, even though originally they would have been put on like 5.5, 6 foot rods. But I like it better on that because it's a hefty reel. And I feel it needs a good strong rod, nice long rod to go with, but that's just my preference. So, again, I've taken this out, took it out a few times in the summer and caught some fish on it. Caught a giant bullhead on it. It was a 13.5-inch bullhead. It was out of Dead Man's Pond, which is, it's actually a lake. The state considers it a lake, but all us locals call it that. Not a bad place to fish, but anyway. So, yep, there's my 404. And for those of you wondering what kind of rods do I like to pair these up with, well, I usually pair them up with rods from the same era because, to me, they don't look right on a modern rod. And I figure if I'm going to buy an old reel, why not buy an old rod? But again, just my preference. So there's that. But anyway, thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.